Warning, I'm gonna just probably cry on this video, but it's crazy how emotional this is. You guys who've been with me from the very beginning know that when I first moved into this house, I had just escaped domestic violence. I was still recovering from my anoxic brain injury. I was completely homebound. I was unable to walk. We weren't sure if I was going to survive. For anyone else who's ever left domestic violence, there is this feeling that you have that like the world is never going to be okay, and you are just looking for that safe space. You are so desperate for somewhere that you know that you and your kids are going to be protected, where you can like build that little nest and start over. For me to get away from the monster that I lived with for 24 years, I walked away with nothing but like some Rubbermaid boxes full of sleeping bags and some dishes. And I remember like right after my divorce thinking, I don't know how I'm ever going to get back on my feet again and be able to provide for my kids. So when my uncle had this old abandoned guest house in his backyard and offered to let me move into it, it was my only option. It was the only place that I could go where I could live with my kids and at least have some safety. And it's crazy how much my life has changed in the 4 years that I've been in this house. And it has been like this safe little bubble for me and my kids. And then of course Kevin moved in with me, and I have stepkids. And for somebody who's never had peace before, you know, like I was raised in an extremely abusive family, and then at a very young age I married an abuser. This past 4 years is the first time in my life that I've ever had a home where I'm not afraid. It's the only place that I've ever lived where I knew that my kids weren't going to be hit or hurt. It's the first house that I've ever had where like I can leave dirty dishes in the sink and I know that I'm not going to be hurt. So packing up and getting ready to move this Wednesday into our little apartment because my uncle's selling his whole estate, including the guest house that I've been renting, is so emotional. Like it's just really hitting me. Like this is the last time that I'm ever going to put on my nasty painter shorts. This is the last furniture flip I'm ever going to do. This is the last time I'm ever going to sit here and sand and saw. Last time I'm ever going to hang up a suet block for my bird. Here, I'm going to go out in the desert here really quick. When I first moved into this home, every piece of glass was broken out. It was all cardboarded. There was plywood. It was broken. This house was broken. There were snakes and lizards and all kinds of desert critters living in it. And I had this feeling that I was so broken too. And in the 4 years that I've been in here, like me and this house have fixed each other up, you know? This used to be just like desert full of like weeds and broken glass and old furniture and stuff. And I've sat at this kitchen table for the first 4 years of my life, eating my breakfast or lunch or whatever in peace without anybody screaming at me, without being in danger. It's hard to walk away, you know? Hard to pack up all my belongings, not totally knowing like what the next chapter of our life is. And I feel like this has been my little safe nest, and I'm not totally sure that I'm ready to leave the nest yet, but here we go. And yes, Kevin has a walking boot on, so look at him packing stuff up. So thank you everybody for being on this journey with me, and let's see what's next.